Hello everyone. I just want to make another sermon video for you, for us. It's Thursday, April 8th. I've been making these videos about a year, a little over a year. I think I started maybe like April the 2nd, 2020. But I'm proud to do them for you. I just wanted to, it's storming outside this morning. Thursday, April 8th, it's been storming. But inside my heart, it's peaceful. And I want to get you the 20th chapter of Proverbs in the King James Version of the Bible. And it said, "Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. The fear of the king is the roaring lion, but whoso provoketh to anger sinneth against his own soul. It's an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling." I want to go over this with you a little bit. Hopefully it'll help you. So it says, "Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever deceiveth thereby is not wise." You know, there's been many a person that ruined their lives by drinking, and it don't just affect you, it affects everyone that you touch, that you come in contact with, that you're associated with, that you're connected to. It is a terrible thing. I know from firsthand experience through people in my family. Intelligent people. Some of the best people smartest people you could meet, but they got a drinking problem. They can't control their behavior. Then it goes on, verse 3 says, "It's an honor for a man to cease from strife, that every fool will be meddling." You know, strife is some people that seem like they're not happy unless they're been contentious about something and keeping something stirred up. But God gave us life as a gift, but we approach it like it's a burden a whole lot of times. The world has to face their problems alone without God. Man that's got God, he still has problems, but he's got God to help him with them. And it's no contest, I'm telling you. You know, job, finances, or whatever we got in our life, it's not in any comparison compared to the big picture of getting to live with God forever. You know, people tend to look at the world through their temporary eyes, what their riches for today or whatever, but we look through eternal eyes. We get so sidetracked, and we let the silliest things seem like bring us down. We get things out of perspective. And I pray that God will give me the peace of mind that never ends. It says the sluggard, verse 4, "The sluggard would not plow by reason of the cold, therefore he would beg and harvest and have nothing." It's never just right. It seems like if you do something, you have to just go on and forget the circumstances, forget the obstacles against you. You have to just make up your mind you're going to do it. For instance, if you want to read the Bible, you can read 3 chapters a day and read the Bible in a year, and you start out to do that. I guarantee you there'll be things come up where that you can't, or you can't easily, but you have to be determined. Verse 8 says, "A king that sits in the throne of his judgment scattereth away evil with his eyes." We're subject to a king who watches everything. The choice is ours. It's our free will, but we got to remember that nothing we do escapes his view, and I thank the Lord that I'm never out of his sight. verse 10 says, divers weights and divers measures, both of them are an abomination with the Lord. I heard a story, I read it to you on one of these broadcasts, but it says there was a farmer who sold a pound of butter to the baker. One day the baker decided to weigh the butter to see if he was getting a pound, and he found that he was not. This angered him, and he took the farmer to court. The judge asked the farmer if he was using any measure. The farmer replied, "You see, Your Honor, I am primitive. I don't have a proper measure, but I do have a scale." The judge asked, "Then how do you weigh the butter?" The farmer said, "Your Honor, since long before the baker started buying butter from me, I've been buying a pound of butter from him. Every day when the baker brings me the bread, I put it on a scale and give him the same weight in butter. If anyone is to be blamed, it is the baker. We get back in life what we give to others." When you start to take action, ask, are you giving a fair value for what you getting? Honesty and dishonesty could become a habit. You know, that's divers weights. I've talked about that on these videos. We don't want divers weights. God gives us a grade and gives us things based upon our ability, our talents. A brother, I heard his testimony. He said that in school he had a relative that didn't make good grades, and of course, he didn't have salvation, but he let his relative copy his paper, and the relative wrote it, and if he had an error, instead of erasing it or whatever and fixing it, he just draw a line through it and write it up above, and it was really kind of sloppy looking. And when it come time for the grades, he got a C, I believe, and the relative got a B or something like that. And he went up to the teacher and he said, "It's not fair." And the teacher said, "Why did you give so and so the B and me the C?" He said, "Because he did the best he could." He said, "Did you?" So that's the grade from the Lord. How good you do is how good your ability is. That's what the measurement is. Every child, verse 11, every child is known by his doings, whether his work is pure, whether it be right. You know, people watch the way we live. They have a right. Our children have watched our lives, and they have a right. People in our church watch us. And that's like myself, being the pastor of the church. If I say come to church, then I should have been coming to church. If I say work for the Lord, they need to see that I've been working for the Lord. Verse 12, the hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord hath made even both of them. You know, people try to deny the existence of God. They've always done that. I heard that back in the day when you could give a polygraph test to people that applied for a job, they'd ask one question. They'd say, "Do you believe in God?" And every time someone said no, the needle jumped off the chart nearly. Heard about a man, he had a friend that was an atheist, and the man that believed in God, he had an elaborate train set down in his basement. I mean, it was just elaborate, and had the trees and rolling hills and all the scenery. And so he invited the atheist friend over. So they went in. There's this elaborate train set, and the atheist was blown away. He says, "Wow," said, "my goodness, how long did you work on this? This must have took years for you to build this." And the man that believed in God said, "No," said, "I just came down here one day. There's an explosion, and poof, there it is." And the atheist friend said, "No, that's not a good enough explanation. That could not have happened." And so the Christian friend said no, and the creation didn't happen like you say. It wasn't just a big bang and then It was. It was somebody carefully planning it out. I also heard that years ago, the Bible says the stars are like the sand of the sea or something. They're innumerable. And but man, he don't believe God. He don't believe things like that. So he got him a telescope, and he peered into the sky, looked into the sky, and he said, "Oh no, there's 2,487 stars." And so he knows more. So they go on for a few years. They develop a bigger telescope and a bigger telescope, and they find out there's more than 2,487 stars, and they ascribe a number to it, 5,000, 10,000, whatever. And finally they got down, I don't know if it's the Hubble or just before the Hubble, they got a powerful telescope, and they said, the stars are innumerable. Why didn't they just listen at the first? But they want to test the waters. Verse 17, bread of deceit is sweet to a man, but after his mouth shall be filled with gravel. When people try to deceive somebody else, they tell a lie or whatever, and all liars are going to be in the lake of fire. You have to remember how the story went and cover your tracks. A single grain of truth is better than a mountain full of lies. Verse 19 says, he that goeth about as a talebearer revealeth secrets. Therefore meddle not with him that is flattereth with his lip. A man was seen coming from a married woman's house, and he got this tale going on him. They didn't try to check the story out and find out that it was the woman's brother that he was coming to study in between classes. There's no such thing as harmless gossip. Gossip's wrong, and talking about someone in a negative way, and they have no chance at that moment to defend themselves. It's not well. If we can't build somebody up, if we got to tear somebody down, telling false things about people without checking, that's like stealing from them in the wrong way. I said before in another video that some people look through mounds of dirt to find a few diamonds, and some people look right past a bunch of diamonds to find a little dirt. They work at the rumor mill. I don't know what it pays down there, but they, and I've relayed this story to you before too. There was three sisters, and this brother came up to them, older sisters, and he said, what would you say if I told you I drank a royal crown? And the first one said, I wouldn't have no confidence in you at all. And the second one said, oh yeah, I'd still have confidence in you. And the third one says, well, I guess I just have to know what a royal crown is. And that's the way it is. A royal crown is an RC, a royal crown cola. We used to call them RC cola. Have you a royal crown cola or RC and a moon pie? So you need to check out the stories before you repeat them. God. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry about that video cutting off like that. I was through, except I just wanted to tell you that I enjoyed getting this to you. I love you with all my heart. I wanted to tell you that if you need anything, just let me know. My phone number is 256-508-4410. And if you need me, just leave me a message and I'll get back to you when I can. It was an unexpected ending. I'm going to try to piece this together. I'm not good at editing. I'm going to try to learn that one of these days maybe. So anyway, may God bless you is our prayer.